So today I'm going to share something that is really powerful and just kept coming to me. The pool of Bethesda, the pool of Bethesda, the pool of Bethesda. So we're going to read that, and then we're going to talk about that in greater detail and how it relates to us calling in the highest version of ourselves, believing in ourselves and taking action, seeing from the end, living from the end, from the truth as Neville Goddard and Joseph Murphy and all the great ones speak about. John 5, and I think it goes through 14, but in any event. After this was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is at Jerusalem by the sheep market a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. Now, just a side note here, because I did take some notes, because the Bible is the metaphysical tool of the mind, right? It's like the ultimate. And when you look up the etymology of the word Bethesda, it is just derived from a Hebrew word, and it actually means house of mercy or house of grace, which is like God's compassion for us, the nature and willingness of healing offered at these waters, right? Which is so cool. So basically divine grace, divine intervention. Okay, so to continue. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, of blind, halt, withered, waiting for the movement of water. For an angel went down at a certain season into the pool and troubled the water. Whosoever then first, after the troubling of the water, stepped in, was made whole of whatever disease he had. And a certain man was there, which had an infirmity 38 years. When Jesus saw him lie, and knew that he had been now a long time in that case, he had said unto him, Wilt thou be made whole? The impotent man answered him, Sir, I have no man, and when the water is troubled, to put me into the pool, but while I am coming, another stepped down before me. Jesus said unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and walk. And immediately the man was made whole, and took up his bed, and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. And the Jews therefore said unto him that was cured, It is the Sabbath day. It is not lawful for thee to carry thy bed. And he answered them, He that made me whole, the same said unto me, Take up thy bed and walk. Then they asked him, What man is that which said unto thee, Take up thy bed and walk? And he that was healed was not who it was, for Jesus had conveyed himself away, a multitude being in that place. So this man, right, represents us. We're all waiting to be saved by some miracle, by some grace. Not understanding that Christ consciousness is us as us. That Jesus, Christ consciousness, told him, just pick up your bed and walk. Pick up thy bed and walk. You don't need to enter the pool. You don't need to wait. What are we waiting for? And that really struck me, this interpretation that came to me, is because we're always waiting for the right time to do something, to be something, to do something different, to call in new experiences as the highest version of ourselves. But this story is basically saying we have the power within. That when we declare something, we can do it. We can pick up, rise, take our bed, and walk. Walk in faith that we know that this is who we are now and who we're calling into being. And that we don't have to wait for some external force to give us that which is already in us. Sorry, I almost spilled my coffee. And that's what came to me, is like, we are Christ consciousness. God is seated at the right hand of the Father. It's the right side of the brain, the imagination, and the logical side is the left side, and the creative conscious side of God within us as us. And so this really spoke to me, because we're waiting for mercy. We're waiting for grace. We're waiting to be healed, to be whole. We're waiting to step into this new role. We're waiting, for a certain time. But that's not it. It's about us. This is who you're claiming to be. So pick up your bed. Rise up, take your bed, and walk. Walk in the knowing that you are Christ consciousness. And something that I think I had mentioned in another post that is truly helpful, and Neville talks about it as well, is about getting into the sleep a state akin to sleep, right? Or prayer. It's this state of dropping all of the external, right? When we're ready to fall asleep, everything kind of starts to diminish and fade away as we fall asleep. And we can do that too before we fall asleep. But we can enter this state at any time. A state of grace, a state of letting go of all of the things that seem to be troubling us, all of the things that seem to be holding us back, all of our anxious thoughts that tell us that we cannot do or be or have what we are calling into reality. But when we can drop into being, close your eyes and just feel this presence of I am, and just be, step out in nature, whatever you need to do to just let those thoughts of who you think you are and the problems that you have, the situations, just let it kind of drop away and drop into a state of being. I love the universe. There's a few meditations on there that are just great, or just theta. Getting into a meditative state using theta will help us to just wash away a lot of these thoughts and just come into a presence of being, and just repeat a mantra. I am. I am. I am. I don't know what it does. I do know what it does. It washes away anxious, fear, low vibrational thoughts, because that's not who we are. And then from that state, when we can get into calm, a calm presence, long enough, just I am, knowing that all is well, all is well, all is well. I am, and all is well. I am, and all is well. Repeat that. Let it marinate into yourself. And from that, once that kind of all of the turbulence of the outer world starts to dissipate, and you'll know it because you'll feel a calmer presence, a calmness beyond and before this person called Jennifer or Jane or Mary or whoever you are, right? It's from that state that we can now create and see ourselves in that role or in that position of whatever it is. But when you can come from a true place of I am, then everything else can fall into place, right? The person, the special person that you are calling in, the job, the career, the money, the finances, the home, the whatever it is that you desire to have. It's about who we are being, and who we are being needs to come from a place of from it, as it, in the imaginal state. But it's really hard to do that when the mind is racing. So be in that space, be in the calm waters, and know that, like the pool of Bethesda, we don't even have to go into certain, just claim it. This man was living, for 38 years, or like most of us, waiting for the miracle, waiting for someone else to come and take us into the waters that are supposedly healing us. But when we know that it's already in us, that we have the power, we are the power that we are seeking. And all we need to do is calm ourselves down from the chaotic thoughts and then imagine ourselves living from that state, living from the state of who it is you are being. Magnificent, loved, chosen, valued, calm, confident. We are God's, and God is in us as us. That's why people can create magic or misery. But when you know that there's an operant power that's in you and as you, and you can use it for divine, to fulfill your wishes in the most beautiful way, to see your life as magic, despite the outer world and what it's showing us. To live in imagination, we don't need external. We don't need the pool. The pool of Bethesda is meant to be the story of not waiting for the perfect time, but to know that the time is now. To not wait for an external circumstance to save us, or a person, or a situation, or a job, or a man, or a woman, or a thing. But to know that we are that very embodiment of that. I hope this makes sense. I'm going to assume that this makes sense. Because we are the man at Bethesda. And we only need to believe in the Christ consciousness that says, rise, take up thy bed and walk. And he never went into the pool. He had full faith and conviction in himself. And that was it. So that's it. Stop waiting. Whatever your desire is because it's put there by your Christ consciousness to be fulfilled. Walk in that faith. Take up thy bed. Rise up. Take your bed and walk. And know that, people like myself and other people who are consciously creating this and living this are here for you. We're here to build a beautiful community. There are so many great teachers. Change your thoughts and your feelings, and don't accept these debasing feelings that have kept you stuck and kept me stuck for so fucking long by the pool of Bethesda. Know that you are powerful. You're God. You're a Christ consciousness. Let that stir in you, okay? And let that move you. Let that wake you up out of the paralyzed state and move towards your dreams. Because if you have it, it's meant to be for you. And that's it. I love you. I believe in you. Where two or more gathered, there he is in the midst, to create, to manifest miracles, which are our birthright. We call them miracles because we're shocked when they happen. When great things happen, we're shocked, like, oh my God. But that's our birthright, is to create to step into these timelines where these things are natural occurrences. Miracle is our nature. It's our name. Because we are God. We are God. God is in us and as us. That's it. I mean, there's so many things in the Bible that talk about, this. So, Jesus talks about these works and more and greater ye shall do if only we believe. So allow it to be. Have faith in yourself. We have faith in all things to go wrong. Why not have faith in things to go right, to be right, to create magic as our birthright? Stop believing in the false gods, the things that kept us downtrodden, the things that kept us paralyzed at the pool of Bethesda, when we know that we have the power in us to just pick up our bed, stand up and walk. I know this makes sense to those that have ears, let them hear. As Jesus says, right? Matthew 11:15. To those who have ears, let them hear. Because this is the truth. I love you. Have a magnificent, beautiful, magical, amazing day. And to anybody who wants to reach out, I'm here. And if not, just keep watching and, make a comment, engage in comments. I'd love to see your thoughts and hear your testimony as to this message that is divinely inspired. Have a beautiful day.